Welcome to Top Cut quarterfinals. We have tabulated our results and we have our Top Cut participants. And our first round here will be between Charlie Meza and Jason Tang. I'm Dennis Geisler. Felix with me.
Felix Lariba, also known as Riona.
Welcome to stream. We will get our quarterfinal round underway very soon. Charlie's team, we haven't seen it on stream yet today, and it is a very interesting one. I was talking to his round 5 opponent a little bit about it, and spoiler alert, it's got a Cresselia on it, which is not super common. Yeah, I'm glad that you got surprised by it. Not a super common choice, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out in this matchup against Jason's team, which we saw earlier on with the Calyrex and the Torkoal, along with the Smeargle. A lot of interesting stuff in this matchup. I'm excited to see how this one will turn out between the two sides. How was your tournament today?
So basically,
I'm not going to make you tell the audience that you went 0-5, but you talk about it a little bit.
You're not going to make... Oh my god, sorry. You're not going to tell them that I went 0-5. You're not going to make me
so mad at me. This is what the B-Doofs were upset at me about.
I went 0-5. No one went 0-5. No one's making my record. So, like...
That's true.
Oh my god, nothing on me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's something I was talking to Angel about after Vancouver. Is like plenty of people top cut Vancouver. Only one person was one out of the top 128 points, and that was Angel. It's more difficult to land exactly at 129th than it is to land all the way in the top cut. Or same today where Angel was 9th.
Yeah.
And bubbled out again.
The house down.
It's been difficult.
Not a good time for Angel.
Not a great time for Angel, but our top cut participants, I'm going to see if I can look from the far end. Dino went 5-0. Excited to potentially see her make a run through this one. As we deal with tech issues on the other end. See if I could see it on the other end. Because Dean will be playing against Benji, who we just saw in the last round there in the 1-8 matchup. This is the 2-7 here. The 3-6 is... it's not Josh and Alexis. Josh and Alexis is the 4-5 matchup, and it's Brendan Moses and Michael Wagner.
How can you even see
that is far? The glasses. Glasses, and also like I've seen the names on the pairing sheet enough where I'm like, I know what your name is shaped like from this distance. So I'm able to at least just go, okay, yeah, that looks like it says Michael Wagner. If I had never read that name as Michael Wagner before, I wouldn't be able to do it, but because I've done it before, I'm able to do it now.
Right, like I can like see like the bottom 4.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I can just read all of them now.
Yeah. Once you kind of make it out, you can kind of figure out what it's supposed to be. But yeah, the winner of this will play the winner of Brendan and Michael, which will be a pretty interesting one. Brendan has the Bastiodon, of course. Michael with that Ditto team. He played so well in that last round.
Yeah, I also fought Michael. It's like my second game.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty interesting. I definitely love Ditto though, so that's definitely something that...
the way he plays Ditto is so well because he really does just get Ditto as any Pokemon and succeeds with it. Like, the point of Ditto is to grab the other restricted, which already is kind of a difficult playstyle because you just have to say, okay, whatever restricted is on the other team, I have to be able to play it to a degree. But also, in Game 2, he used Ditto to grab Tornadus and set Tailwind. And in Game 3, he got Urshifu, which he used to knock out the Tornadus. And just the way that he was able to play around that and use it in so many different ways is really interesting.
Copying any other Pokemon's playstyle just for your own benefit.
Yeah, exactly. Alongside what you have on your team. It's like you can have any other Pokemon on your team and you have to be ready to do that. And he's done such a good job with it. It's really fun to see in this format.
It lets you pick up like anything like lacking on your from the
exactly.
So
yeah, like in game number 2, he brings Ditto, copies Tornadus, and they match Tailwinds. And so now both teams have matched Tailwinds. So Michael doesn't really need to worry about being at a Tailwind disadvantage because he got his Tailwind. Even though he doesn't have Tailwind on his team, he got his Tailwind up.
Got his Tailwind up, got those speed ties. That's normal. Just battle as usual.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm curious because I've literally already forgotten what Benji is playing, and it was like 2 seconds ago, but Dina is playing the anti-Calyrex Ice with the Imprison. Which always a dangerous one to play against. I realized the cord was in front of me. I didn't mean for it to be there. I just talked about where I wanted the cord, and then I forgot to do it when I was doing it. I'm still waiting on tech issues on the actual stream match here, but we're having a good time.
Yes, we are vibing. We are here. We are.
I guess we can go through the teams a little bit here. So Charlie's team, it's gonna be got the Zamazenta as that restricted. With the Dragon Terra holding the Rusted Shield, of course. Body Press, Heavy Slam, Iron Defense, Wide Guard as its moves. The other ones, Chen Pao, Volcarona, Cresselia, Urshifu Single Strike, and Rillaboom. And then on Jason's end, it's the Calyrex Ice Rider with the Terrifier and the Clear Amulet. With Glacial Lance, Close Combat, Trick Room, and Protect. With the Torkoal, Female Indeedee, Urshifu Single Strike, Smeargle, and Raging Bolt.
The set on the Cresselia is like, it'll be really fun to see if they do bring LA Switch into play, because just seeing that reaction between the other player and that move is just like amazing. I remember doing it a while ago. It's fun.
Yeah, it's always so difficult to predict, because it's the one time and it's like, oh, I'm going to click this thing into this ally switch combination, and then they switch, and I'm like, okay, they're going to switch this time, so I'm going to lead it into the other one, and then they don't switch, and so they get an extra move off, and they switch. Yeah, it's just such a difficult mind game to play against. We are finally going to get into game here.
Yeah.
I don't have to say the team. Yeah, I don't have to read out the team now, because we've got both of them. What do you think that they're going to feel like bringing here? Obviously, Jason... I mean, has a lot of weird tools to build around, but probably wants to lean into the Trick Room here. There's no real reason not to.
They don't have any or set up a Tailwind. So
yeah.
As long as they're able to get that Trick Room down, it might be a little tricky for Charlie.
There's also no way to block priority, really, on Charlie's side, so you could go with the Smeargle, go with like a quick fake out, and then play around that, even decorate the Calyrex, which we were talking about on stream a little bit earlier with the options that you have there, or even decorate the Torkoal. That's a fun one.
Right.
I mean, we've seen a little bit of this Trick Room Calyrex Ice Torkoal stuff here in SoCal before now.
I wouldn't doubt it, yeah.
I mean...
I wouldn't put it past
if Indeedee Female is there, then SoCal is there as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're looking like we're about to get on into this one.
Gonna be kicking off with the Zamazenta and Volcarona, so... What plays...
This is an interesting Volcarona set. It's Quiver Dance, Heat Wave, Tailwind, Rage Powder. So only one attack, but with the Quiver Dance as well. There's not a whole lot that walls Heat Wave in this metagame, so I guess it's probably fine to just have the one attacking move, but it could be a little bit of a concern in some cases, and it means you get the Tailwind.
Right, I mean, my entire day today, I've just been like, missing a bunch of Heat Waves, so hopefully we see none of that here, and get them off successfully.
We're going to see the Calyrex Indeedee lead on Jason's side, Zamazenta Volcarona the opposite direction.
All the abilities are setting up.
Yeah, we gotta wait like 5 minutes for all the abilities to proc first, because it takes a little bit. I think now there we go. And yeah, I think there's no reason why Zamazenta can't really click Iron Defense. This is an Iron Defense Zamazenta variant, which you don't always see, especially right now. You see a lot of the Protect instead of that Iron Defense, but Iron Defense, especially against the Calyrex, is a really nice damage move.
Swapping on the Calyrex.
Yeah, and this could be a play here just to get the Trick Room up. I'm almost certain that Indeedee is clicking Trick Room here. It's just a question of what the Volcarona does to try to play around this, because this is a great turn for Jason. If the Trick Room goes up, yeah, the Quiver Dance is up, but now you just get to click Eruption with Torkoal. I'm not even entertaining the idea that Indeedee did anything other than click Trick Room. Yeah, there you go. So there's the Trick Room, there's the switch in on that. Zamazenta does have Terra Dragon, Volcarona does have Terra Water. One of them can just take this hit, probably. but you do probably want to Terra one of them because you're about to get hit with Eruption.
Terra one of them is both going down.
Yeah, Volcarona might be able to take the hit because it's neutral and it is at +1 special defense.
Right.
It's going to be tough though, and it won't do like anything back with Heat Wave. It'll do something back with Heat Wave because Torkoal is not super specially bulky, and it is in the sun and it's +1, so it'll do a little bit of damage back. But yeah, Indeedee going to click Follow Me, so Torkoal is going to be even more protected, I suppose. No Protect, no Terra. There's Rage Powder out of Volcarona. This is just going to be an Eruption straight up. Weather Ball, that is not what I expected to be clicked. Maybe Jason got surprised by the non-Terra there as well. Because Zamazenta just going for the body press into the Indeedee.
Oh, wow.
It'll pick up the knockout. That's a surprising move, and Torkoal is Spec, so it's locked into the Weather Ball now. It will certainly pick up the knockout on the Zamazenta with the Weather Ball, if it doesn't terastalize, but yeah. Yeah, and the leftovers might have gotten it out of range of another Weather Ball, which makes it really difficult to play around. But yeah, I think you bring in the Calyrex here, and with the Calyrex you have to feel pretty good because you have Trick Room up, and Glacial Lance feels very good to click here. Like, you'll be able to get rid of Zamazenta pretty easily here. And you can even Terra the Calyrex to make sure it doesn't get taken out by the Heat Wave. So, you've got to feel pretty decent if you're Jason, although it's still early on in the Trick Room turns, but you're starting to run out of Trick Room turns, you know?
Right. Would Volcarona go down to the Glacial Lands at this point?
I doubt it, but we'll see.
No boost, no anything.
Ooh, it's just going to be the Terra Fire on the Torkoal, so just going to boost that up a bit. Maybe just trying to confirm the knockout on the Volcarona. Probably will get it, to be honest.
A little scared,
yeah, well, this is probably the Zamazenta, if I had to guess. Yeah. So, it means the Zamazenta is not going to take super effective damage against the Fire-type Weather Ball, but it will take more damage against the Glacial Lance. Although, it is at +3 defense, so it won't take that much against Glacial Lance. We're going to get Weather Ball first into the Zamazenta. Let's see how much this does. Should be a lot.
Oh,
yeah, still a lot of damage. This Glacial Lance, will this pick up a knockout on either of them? No, barely not enough. And now here's the hurt in the other direction. Big body press into the Torkoal. Doesn't get the knockout, but this should get the, honestly, double knockout, yeah.
Exactly.
I think that wins it for Charlie in game 1. Only one Pokemon left. We believe it to be Urshifu, yeah. And Urshifu's not going to be able to get rid of both these Pokemon. And that was a great turn from Charlie. At the end of the day, I think Jason just didn't play around with damage ranges that well. And also, just gotta click Eruption, you know?
Just gotta click Eruption.
I'm surprised that it wasn't just clicking Eruption and doing as much damage as possible. I don't know if there was a concern about... Oh, I guess there was Wide Guard on Zamazenta. Yeah, you know what? I understand now that there was a Wide Guard on Zamazenta. But...
Now the play, whenever you see like a Wide Guard, it is... Use the move that's going to be blocked by Wide Guard anyway, because then they're going to think, okay, they see Wide Guard, I'm not going to click it.
Yeah, well, and especially because if they're clicking Wide Guard, they're not clicking anything else, and it means that you're wasting one of your Pokemon, but they're also wasting one of their Pokemon. And so you get to kind of go 50-50 against that and play like a one-on-one for a little bit any time that they do that. And I would have preferred that be the game that Jason went for instead of going for Weather Ball, which I think is like 100 base power in Sun.
Right.
Which, obviously, it's boosted, it does some good damage, but it ain't Eruption.
And there's nothing like doing damage to 2 Pokemon instead of 1.
Yeah, exactly. Especially that much damage to 2 Pokemon at one time. Real good stuff. So, Charlie wins game number 1. We'll have the Cresselia. We didn't get to see the Cresselia in game 1. I don't think we're going to get to see it in game 2 either.
Would love to see it.
I would like to see Cresselia. I think it'd be fun. Did Charlie do anything other than just play the leads?
No, he just still had his...
Yeah, he just had his leads out the whole time. Okay, so we don't really... Jason certainly doesn't know, and I honestly don't even remember what the last 2 were that Charlie was even bringing in game 1.
Oh. That is a great question.
Yeah.
Been the Urshifu in the...
I think it might have been the same 2 that are the last 2 here, but even still, it means that Jason doesn't know what those last 2 were, and so Jason doesn't really know what to prepare around, even if he is able to break through that lead. And
it'll be a surprise regardless.
And I think Jason at this point probably understands that the previous lead was a little too passive. Switching out into the Torkoal and getting the Trick Room up obviously feels pretty good briefly, but you don't actually... It didn't do enough damage when the Zacian, or the Zamazenta was able to get the Iron Defense up and get super bulky, and the Volcarona was able to get a Quiver Dance up. Like, they were both able to set up on that first turn, and it never was able to go past that. Jason was never able to break through them.
Yeah, and it seems we got a different lead this time. So we got the Zamazenta and the Rillaboom, and now we're just having a little bit of a terrain war with the Indeedee and the Rillaboom, but obviously Indeedee prevails.
Yeah, Indeedee being the slower one does prevail, so...
Yes. Slow and steady wins the race, or whatever they say.
That is true, that is true. And I mean, it is good for Jason, because it means that Fake Out is no longer an option. Yeah, same with Grassy Glide. No Terras, no Switch Outs, we're just going.
They might just be going for that raw room.
Possibly, although the Rillaboom does have to be in a little bit of... Yeah, I was gonna say, Rillaboom probably has to U-turn out, and I mean, that's good damage into the Indeedee, but... Probably see the Trick Room here. Although the question is, what do you do even under Trick Room to these two? Like,
right.
It's the same thing we had in the last game, where it's like, oh, I got Trick Room up a different way. It's like, you're still not doing anything to Zamazenta Volcarona.
Exactly. No damage has been done on Charlie, or actually to Charlie's side, so...
Yeah, and there's the Trick Room, as you mentioned.
It'll possibly be the same outcome as last round.
The Calyrex is out earlier this time, although again, the Zamazenta is at +3 defense. Calyrex is going to struggle to hit that thing, even if...
It does get its boost up.
Yeah, even if it does. I mean, and it's going to be difficult to even take out the Volcarona, really. Like, what's it going to do to it? Especially, it's not the high horsepower variant, it's the close combat variant. Which is strictly slightly more damage, but also means that you take a lot more damage, and if Calyrex drops before Zamazenta, it's going to be tough to get out of this game.
No, it really will.
See the lock-in here for Charlie.
Yeah.
Calyrex is going to swap out, probably had to, but it's got to feel pretty awkward doing that, because now Torkoal comes in and can be hit by something. We'll get the sun up. And Indeedee does have... Oh no, Indeedee's going to switch out as well. That's surprising. I kind of expected Indeedee to follow me to try to give Torkoal a route in, but...
Like breathing room.
Yeah, it's just going to be Urshifu coming in. Volcarona goes for the Heat Wave, does big damage against Urshifu, medium damage against Torkoal. Torkoal's done. Body Press down, Torkoal's done.
Diva down, exactly.
Diva down, and... does Jason have a way back in this game? Like, Calyrex comes in now, but what do you do here? Like, you can just... Charlie can basically click the same moves as last time, the Heat Wave and the Body Press, and what does Jason do about that?
We're under Trick Room, right?
We are still under Trick Room.
Right, so... What is this easier with the Darker? Like, would it still be...
Urshifu, I think, it certainly... is slower / faster in Trick Room than Zamazenta. I'm not sure about Volcarona, but I'm also not sure what it would do to Zamazenta. And also, it doesn't necessarily want to hit Volcarona because of Flame Body.
Volcarona's gonna go up first anyway.
Yeah.
Rage Powder. So
yeah.
Blazing Lance come in and do Volcano damage.
Yeah, it's gonna do nothing to Zamazenta. That did 14 damage to Zamazenta.
14.
Look at blow into the Volcarona. Does get the knockout. Hold for burn. I think it didn't burn. Yeah, I think it didn't burn. But Body Press is going to pick up the Urshifu, and yeah, now part of the issue now is just what can Calyrex do to Zamazenta, because Calyrex needs to beat Zamazenta to win this game.
And they bring back Indeedee, maybe hoping for another terrain war with the Rillaboom, but they bring out Urshifu instead.
I mean, there's not... no other option for Jason other than Indeedee, unfortunately. Right. I mean, you just have to... I don't know how you get out of this game.
It's just not looking very great for Jason Tang today.
It is not looking great for Jason in this top cut. Is that a Flamingo hat? I just realized that for the first time. I think there's a flamingo on that hat.
I feel like there's a bunch of like cosmetics in this game that I have not like been paying too much attention to.
Yeah, I always learn something new. I think Charlie, the senior Charlie, was playing the Rika cosplay trainer, which is pretty sick.
Yes, and we see that Zamazenta going into that Dragon Terra. Oh, Calyrex went for the protagonist, so Calyrex.
Yeah, Indeedee only has Psychic though, so it's not really going to accomplish a whole lot now. I mean, it is, yeah, actually it's terrain boosted, it's neutral against Zamazenta, which isn't a huge special wall, but the problem is Indeedee drops to that, and...
It went out kicking. Maybe a little, not too strong,
it did.
It went out kicking.
Yeah, it did. But also the problem now is... You can kind of... I mean, when you're Terra Dragon now, you can just wide guard in front of Calyrex until Trick Room expires, and then just hit it with your big moves. And Calyrex will finally use that Terra, the Terra Fire, which will make it no longer weak to a lot of these moves, but also it doesn't really resist anything because of that. Like, it's still going to get hit pretty hard with Wicked Blow. Glacial Lance, so no wide guard or anything, but it still, yeah, won't knock out either of these two. No. Zamazenta's really bulky at this point.
Yeah, it's like Talk Dash on that Earth. So, Calyrex going down right now.
Indeed it does, and Charlie Meza with a 2-0 victory, very clean, getting through the first round here of Top Cut. Going to be moving on to the semifinal round against either, I already forgot, it's either Brendan or Michael. Yeah, I mean, that was just really well played altogether. And, I mean, it was a difficult matchup for Jason in the first place, but I think the big thing, and we're seeing the value, there are a lot of matchups where Iron Defense Zamazenta would do absolutely nothing or not be very important. This specific matchup was perfect for it because you kind of have to play your first turn really passively to get your Trick Room up. And that means that Iron Defense can go up, that means that Quiver Dance can go up, that means you can just hit them really hard, or you turn out and get damage down. Like, there's so much that you can do with turn one.
Yeah, when you do something to, like, set up, it gives your opponent the same chance.
Yeah, it gives your opponent the same chance to set up, and that means that you can have a situation where Glacial Lance does 14 damage to your Zamazenta, and that game is basically over.
That game basically over. Yeah.
In any case, we will take a quick break. We will be back for the semi-final round. Don't go anywhere.